So, Hungarian election season appears to be starting, and we're starting off with seemingly some fucking bangers. So, massive pro Hungary, pro democracy rally called the National March on October 23rd, which was the day of the 1956 revolution to try to overthrow the yoke of Soviet rule. Well, obviously, it didn't fucking work. The Soviets deployed tanks, and that's where you get fucking tankies from. Quick fucking history lesson for you. Yeah, it turns out Viktor Orban, not very fucking popular. What happened? I thought, like, Viktor Orban was, like, the main guy bringing prosperity to fucking Hungary. I mean, in reality, all he does is, like, try to build, like, a soccer stadium and a fucking palace in his hometown. Like, this is unironically, like, true. Like, we can take a look at this. Viktor Orban palace. Like, here's his fucking pleasure palace that he has in his fucking hometown. Drone pic of his fucking Orban's Versailles over his fucking hometown. This is what he's spending taxpayer money mostly on instead of like improving public transportation systems. Hey, Adam Something videos. He constantly talks all the fucking time, all the time about how dog shit and terrible the public transportation system within Viktor Orban's Hungary is. And that's because of a lot of various reasons. Mixed train cars, it's very unorganized, it has no fucking funding. Because most of the funding is being used in order to build, I don't know, dumbass fucking palaces like this in his stupid hometown. So very, very cool that's coming from Orban. He's really, really cares so deeply about the people of Hungary. But, you know, he's doing a little counter protest, a little counter rally for people who are ostensibly pro-democracy and fucking hate his guts because he has essentially completely and utterly drained the fucking economy, well, within Hungary specifically, and it's becoming more and more of an authoritarian shithole state. You know, if you guys were just not so fucking cringe and stupid, well, specifically Orban, of course, then maybe the people wouldn't hate you as much. Maybe if you stopped trying to be a little fucking dictator freak, essentially seizing control of all media outlets, the universities, and all this other bullshit to try to do like Nazi LARP cope bullshit, because in reality you're just like a fascistic little fucking freak. Maybe people wouldn't have fucking hated you as much, but unfortunately, you're too pro Putin, and everyone else is just like, nah, enough with the fucking bullshit. No more fucking authoritarian crackdown bullshit. I'm just surprised that the EU is not fucking cracking down further and further on this motherfucker. You want to know what interrupts a lot of like Ukrainian weapons shipments for the war in Ukraine? You want to know who does that? Oh, it's Viktor Orban, because again, he's a fucking stooge to the Russians and Putin, who gets a lot of money from the Russians specifically, because again, we all know overall what the goal of the Russians are within Europe. He wants to do everything possible in order to be as disruptive to European democracies and decision making, so then he can continue justifying doing more and more fucking land grabs with to his fucking neighbors, and there's not an effective structure of resistance there, and it's been relatively successful. But now, because the EU and Europeans are starting to continue to deal with the dragging on of the Ukrainian war, let's be honest, they're not a big fan of that, and they really have rekindled their fucking hatred of the fucking Russians, which is going to cause problems specifically for Viktor Orban, because he can't be as pro-Russian because he'll get reprimanded and potentially kicked out of the EU. There's been multiple votes threatening to do that before that have been brought onto him. And he's narrowly avoided it every single time because eventually he capitulated to the demands of the EU. So that's pretty cool. But what do we have to hear from this, like, stupid fucking chud?
A magyarok nem kérnek sokat az élettől. Beérjük a szabadsággal.
Oh, you're content with freedom. Yeah, the freedom to allow you to build a fucking palace in your hometown. Okay, bro.
Ha szabadság van, minden van. És
don't fucking talk to me about fucking freedom when you repress the press, repress student activities, try to do anything possible to repress people who are queer presenting. A quick reminder, the largest European pride parades for queer representation happened in Hungary. Everyone from across the EU decided to come in and do their pride march within Hungary. And also, quick reminder, one of his like super homophobic, anti-queer representatives within his government was caught having a fucking gay orgy once, like hopping out of a window while he was participating in a gay orgy. It's every fucking time with these motherfuckers. It's always projection.
Minden lehet. A többit majd intézzük. Nem vagyunk követelőző fajta sem.
Oh, I'm sure.
Nem várunk sokat az idegenektől. Hidegen hagy minket a dicsér.
Yet you guys are starting to allow immigration into your country because of your failing fucking economy. Yikes.
Nem érdekelnek a jutalomfalatok. Se díj, se oklevél, se plecsni. Nem akarunk sem hódítani, sem birodalmakat építeni.
Oh, I'm sure.
Mi nem akarjuk megmondani másoknak.
By the way, complete LARP fucking coke bullshit. No, you're only saying this because you just want to take it in the ass, bend over for your good pal Pooty Poo, right? You just want to bend over and just be like, you know, we can have all the gay orgies and degenerate whatever the fucks instead of the people. For them, they can just have their little crumbs. Meanwhile, I'm just going to keep hanging out in my fucking palace and also watching soccer games in the stupid soccer stadium that I built in my hometown, all with taxpayer fucking funds. You know, because you people can go fuck yourselves, and because that's how people like this think. He is genuinely a fucking complete utter demon, this asshat Viktor Orban.
Hogyan éljenek, és nem oktatunk ki senkit arról, mi a helyes élet.
Except if you're gay, you know. Then we'll probably lecture you. And not mention anything about that one dude who got caught in a gay orgy. Whoops.
Nem ugrunk el a ránk mért feladat elől, sőt,
Worst economy
az igaz ügy
in a while.
érdekében küldetést is vállalunk, de nem hajszoljuk a világi dicsőséget.
Okay, I no longer care about like listening to the rest of this like coping LARPer. Like yawn, cringe, nobody gives a shit. He's a stupid little bitch who doesn't give a fuck about his people and just wants people to fucking suffer. Like, that's all that it is with people like Viktor Orban. He just wants to have absolute power under himself under every fucking circumstance and maintain systems of control and hierarchy under himself and his fucking stooges and buddies. Tens of thousands attend rival rallies as Hungary's election campaign kicks off. Tens of thousands of people expected to turn out for rival rallies by Viktor Orban's ruling party and main opponent as they kick off campaigning for elections next year in a highly polarized political climate. So it's going to be a lot harder for Viktor Orban to actively try to snub any opposition parties this time because, again, he would do that consistently, rig elections in his fucking favor via the Constitution that he has, like, his personal demented interpretations of, or rather him and his party, of course. It's going to be a lot harder to do that. It's because the Hungarian economy is in the shitter and people are, broadly speaking, have woken up to the general sort of authoritarian stoogery that Viktor Orban has participated in. Anniversary on Thursday of Hungary's thwarted 1956 uprising against Soviet rule. We all know about that, of course, which has once firmly anti-Soviet, has grown closer to Russia under Orban. Fidesz, which has been in power since 2010, has said it expected a record turnout this year's commemoration in Budapest and that Orban would address his supporters at the parliament, hailed by the party as a peace march. Let's not talk about the counter-protesters, of course. Copium, of coursing. Hailed by the party as a peace march, the rally was dealt a blow this week when it emerged at a Budapest meeting that had been mooted between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin and touted as a personal triumph for Orban. Yeah, so Trump was talking about how he wanted to go to Hungary to basically talk about the ceasefire in Ukraine and have Putin there and Zelensky trying to make a fucking whole thing about it, try to be a mediator. Obviously, it ultimately fucking fell through because, again, the Russians are not interested in any peace or negotiations whatsoever. They just want to fucking conquer the territory, as expected. As it snakes its way through the capital, the ruling party's rally will have to bypass another demonstration, that of Peter Magyar, a former Fidesz insider who has risen to become Orban's main competitor on the back of widespread dissatisfaction over record inflation and political scandals. Oh, and he's had plenty of fucking scandals. The gay orgy one is just one fucking example. Not to mention all the fucking Pride Parade marches that have been consistently happening. I have no doubt in my mind there are probably oodles upon oodles of amounts of corruption and scandals of Viktor Orban giving favorable deals to all the fucking rich oligarchs. Like, let's be honest here. Oh, 1000% Boy Meets Mini. Like, there is no reason to believe any fucking numbers or values or figures that come out of Viktor Orban's party, because he is known to fucking change and massage a lot of those fucking numbers in his favor to make himself look good. Again, he is similar to Trump. 6 months before the general elections in April, his party, TISA, is neck and neck with Fidesz in the polls. Independent institutions put the opposition in the lead, while government-friendly think tanks predict the opposite outcome. As expected, if the elections were held this Sunday, Fidesz would receive 27% of the vote. TISA would get 37%, said Balázs Boseki. Political Sciences said the director of the Independent Idea Institute, citing its latest poll. Its monthly survey showed TISA's lead apparently to be holding steady, he said. One significant factor is that 1 in 4 Hungarians are still undecided and unwilling to express their political affiliation. I wonder why that might be the case. Wouldn't be because there wouldn't be any particular government repression. Now, given the fact that the dude that is leading TISA's party was a former Fidesz guy, I'm not expecting really anything great out of this dude. He's not going to be a fucking leftist, that's for sure. Maybe like a neoliberal centrist at best, to be quite honest. But in comparison to an authoritarian dipshit fucking goon like Viktor Orban, who's just willing to Trump and fucking Putin's cock, it's probably better in that particular fucking instance. I believe so. If I were to take a look, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Orban claimed parts of Transylvania specifically under Austro-Hungarian Empire control. I wouldn't be surprised if he was the type of dude who did like historical revisionist bullshit. Because again, the one of the biggest minorities within Romania are Hungarians, and why? Austro-Hungarian Empire. That's why. Like he would be an irredentist. Absolutely, Boy Meets Mini. He is one for sure. Like he would want to see some like return with a V to the greatest points of power for Hungary. That's like Kingdom of Hungary shit. Habsburgian, like Austro-Hungarian fucking LARP cope bullshit. Fidesz and TISA will compete on Thursday to see which party can draw the larger crowd, with Orban hoping his rally will reinvigorate his base and pull in some voters who have yet to make up their minds. Magyar, 43, a former lawyer who broke publicly with the governing party in February 2024, has alleged that Fidesz is committing a string of crimes and is using state funds to ship its voters to the capital, promising free food and vouchers for those who attend. Again, the dictator has to make himself look like he is popular, when in reality, we all know Viktor Orban is not very, very fucking popular. So if that means bribing people to have them show up to his like cope LARP rally, he'll fucking do it. He doesn't give a shit about any of that stuff. His party has also claimed that the government has threatened bus companies to dissuade them from renting vehicles to the opposition. We must show that we will not give in to the blackmail, lies, and threats, Magyar told his followers on Facebook. Fidesz's communication director, Tomasz Mencer, denied this, describing the claims about threats to bus companies as fake news. It's all fake, folks. Yeah. Again, like, Viktor Orban has... not like in terms
fake
of like
news.
Yeah, not in terms of like a coup or anything. He did this all constitutionally. He basically, like, if we want to talk about a example of a fascist subverting liberal institutions for authoritarian purposes, Viktor Orban is a case study of that. He subverted the will of the people multiple times through the Constitution, has rewritten the Constitution multiple times to favor his dictatorship, and also suppressed heavily the media and universities, as well as students who would protest him specifically all the time because they are discontent with this sort of general authoritarian thuggishness of a Viktor Orban. He has basically subverted all the fucking institutions, liberal institutions, in order to favor him and his fucking authoritarian claims to power. He is a perfect example of how a fascist will subvert liberal sort of institutions to basically serve fascistic ends and goals. Orban, in turn, has called Magyar's event a Brussels war march. Fidesz, which controls a significant proportion of the media, has claimed, without providing evidence, that Magyar, an MEP, is a puppet of the EU or a Ukrainian agent who wants to push Hungary into war. Yet he's doing literally everything possible to allow the Russians have their way within Ukraine. Again, Viktor Orban, I don't know if you know this, who was the one who did the invasion of Ukraine? Oh, it was the Russians who were the ones who invaded the country, justifying it under the guise of fucking blood and soil fucking rhetoric. So yeah, okay, bro. Nice meme. Orban, who has maintained far-right populist rule for 15 years, and critics say has chipped away at the rule of law and democracy in the process, is campaigning on nationalist ideas, of course, promising to keep migrants out of the country, despite the economy currently shitting the bed and inflation being out of control. Yeah, let's keep the migrants out. Yeah, sure, totally. And the country out of the war in neighboring Ukraine. Again, Hungary is not a part of the war. You're not putting boots on the ground. It is the EU that is buying munitions from the United States and sending it to the Ukrainians. Not a single EU soldier is on the ground in Ukraine at the front lines fighting Russians. A bunch of them are there in official capacities helping train Ukrainian soldiers. They're doing that. But in terms of frontline fucking combat, not happening. Magyar is positioning himself as the anti-corruption candidate, arguing that under its current leadership, Hungary has become the EU's poorest and most corrupt country. Yup. Whoa, you're telling me that the stooge who has subverted all of Hungary's institutions and gives preferential treatment to all of the Ukrainian fucking Hungarian fucking oligarchs is now creating an incredibly corrupt situation within Hungary? So much so that potentially he could be risking investigations from the EU. Because that's the thing that happens. There's a certain threshold that you have to maintain of anti-corruption policies if you want to be a part of the European Union. And Viktor Orban being willing to risk that in order to have his stooges make as much money and pillage and rape the fucking country more than it's already been pillaged and fucking raped by all of his like literal corrupted dealings that he has done with all of this I keep saying Ukrainian oligarchs. Hungarian fucking oligarchs. Fuck it. Honestly, any fucking oligarch. Because again, this corrupt shithead would take money from basically anyone. Especially if they're Russian. He loves Russian money. That's one of his favorite fucking things to take. And you're trying to tell me that, as a result, the material conditions and everyone fucking hates how ridiculously corrupt the country is. So much so that he may be risking reprisal from the EU as a result? Couldn't be the case whatsoever. Orban has become Russia's closest EU ally, while Magyar has expressed solidarity with Ukraine and pledged to reduce Hungary's dependence on Russian oil and gas, signaling a move to distance the country from the Kremlin's influence. Magyar has been leading an 80-day tour around the country in which he says he has visited 158 cities and villages, an apparent effort to build support in rural Hungarian heartlands where Fidesz has traditionally proven strong. Of course, you're telling me that the lumpen proletariat will always fucking vote for the dumb fuck fascist within power because they have nationalistic, idiotic promises that are ultimately fucking lies, and just basically just to shirk areas like Budapest consistently, which are the actual sort of breadwinners and cultural centers of the fucking goddamn country? Who would have fucking thought? This is a consistent thing that happens. Petr Kreko, I don't know how to say. I don't know how to speak Hungarian. Okay, I don't know if that's how you pronounce the name. A political analyst and director of the Budapest-based think tank Political Capital, said he expected April's election to be similar in nature to the previous two. The past two elections have been free but unfair, he said, pointing to the financial disparity between the government and the opposition. A bit of trickery and a lot of campaigning could shift the polls, he said. I think this is an open race, and teases lead is not unchangeable. Yeah, it's definitely going to be an effort to see if, Magyar can even overcome Orban. Again, I'm not expecting anything at all from Magyar. I'm assuming he's probably going to be like an average sort of centrist, liberal type politician. I don't think, again, I'm just saying this because I think Viktor Orban is significantly fucking worse, and I'm pretty sure everyone within most of the city centers of Hungary can definitely agree with the fact that, yeah, he's a corrupt fucking shithead, especially if you're a fucking student or a protester that is gone out to protest against Orban's general sort of stoogery and whatnot. But what do we have here? JD Vance talking about Viktor Orban. Now, we all know why the Trump administration and Viktor Orban and conservatives within the Republican Party have such close ties with Viktor Orban, because they see what he did in Hungary as a model for as to how liberal institutions within the United States of America can be subverted for fascist ends. That is why they have such a close tie in particular. Hasn't really exactly worked out in that way. I guess it's not 100% because of the strength of liberal institutions, but it's also for the general sort of attitudes that exist within America and how generally anti-authoritarian the American people are in general, and how much they do not like Trump at this particular point. He's still trying to do everything possible to have his Reichstag fire moment in order to do the military authoritarian crackdown and actually completely subvert the Constitution and have the dictatorship within the United States of America. But it's been a consistent fucking failure. But what do we have here from Pudgy Doughboy over here?
Successfully dealing with the left-wing domination of universities is Viktor Orban's approach in Hungary. I think his way has to be the model for us, not to eliminate universities, but to give the choice between survival or taking a much less biased approach to teaching.
Yeah, dude, again, because teaching reality is, of course, the kryptonite to a fucking conservative, because these motherfuckers do not believe in reality. Because, unfortunately, since liberalism and liberal sort of politics is the sort of norm and bends against fucking monarchy, which is what this motherfucker ultimately wants. Again, we can also talk about all the attempts that the Republican Party are trying to do in order to subvert elections within the United States of America, because these motherfuckers are all a bunch of authoritarian crackpots and fucking goons. Like, if they can cause the suffering of people, they'll do it. They don't give a shit. Like, there's no scruples or morals with any of these people. They'll fucking do it. So if they want to basically cause as much suffering for a people and subvert their political rights, their civil rights and whatnot, they'll do it. They don't give a shit. Because, again, for people like this, all about maintenance of hierarchy and control. And if it's about not believing in reality to have that sort of vision be made possible, then they'll do it. They don't care. No scruples with these people.
He seized control of state universities and put them in foundations that were then run by his allies. Is that what you're advocating be done in the United States?
Well, Margaret, what you're seeing in the United States actually is that universities are controlled by left-wing foundations. They're not controlled by the American taxpayer, and yet the American taxpayer is sending hundreds of billions of dollars to these universities every single year.
I don't want...
Fucking massive fucking cope, dumbass. What the fuck are you talking about? Who took away the fucking subsidies for universities? That was Ronald fucking Reagan. And, whoa, it turns out American educational sort of, the foundation of education within America became way, way worse as a result of that. American fucking taxpayer funds going to left-wing institutions such as universities. Cope and fucking seethe about it. Again, it's a university sort of job to help teach the reality of the world to fucking students. and you're just, again, mad about the fact that reality has a fucking liberal bias. Also, your dumbass went to fucking Yale. Do we need to talk about all the conservative fucking shitheads who went to Ivy League fucking universities? Like, every fucking Republican politician, like, under the fucking sun, because they all have the money to be sent to fucking Ivy League universities, which are these supposed like left-wing indoctrination centers these people pretend that it is. Again, standard fucking fascist LARP cope shit, talking about how universities and centers of education are left-wing propagandistic indoctrination centers. Like, fucking cope about it.
Taxpayers controlling education necessarily. Is that what you're advocating for, federal government?
Margaret, what I'm advocating for is for taxpayers to have a say in how their money is spent. Universities are part of a social contract.
Damn, they already don't have any say for that. I mean, you're currently sending billions upon billions of dollars to fucking Javier Milei in order to fucking help shore up his fucking economy. You literally sent $20 billion of taxpayer money and are buying a bunch of fucking Argentinian beef, fucking over to the taxpayers yet again. Ranchers getting fucked over, farmers getting fucked over, people that you pretend to fucking love and have adulation for. You're fucking them over right now. Very, very fucking cool.
In this country, they educate our children, they produce important intellectual property, they get a lot of money because of it. But if they're not educating our children well and they're layering the next generation down in mountains of student debt, then they're not.
Hey, who the fuck did that? Oh, it was you guys who made it such that the subsidies for universities went away and fucking privatized them and made them have to rely on those fucking grants from the federal government. That was you motherfuckers who implemented those policies. Again, Ronald fucking Reagan was the guy who canceled a lot of the fucking subsidies that universities were receiving, making them cheap and affordable for people to be able to attend to, because of Lee Atwater being his advisor at the time, talking about how there's going to be an educated proletariat who is going to rise up against Ronald Reagan for his terrible fucking tax policy. And they were afraid about that specifically. So, cope and fucking seethe.
Not meeting their end of the bargain. I think it's totally reasonable to say there needs to be a political solution to that problem.
Well, America's universities still attract talent from around the world, as you went to one of America's very top schools.
Look, there's still good things about American universities, but it's going in the wrong direction, Margaret.
Massive fucking cope. Yeah, going in the wrong direction. No, we need to have American universities have DEI for white conservatives. That's what they mean by it's going in the fucking wrong direction. Cope about it, pudgy doughboy.
Viktor Orban in particular, as you know, I mean, he rewrote the Constitution, he neutered the courts, he tried to control the media. These are not necessarily conservative principles, so why would you want to mimic him?
Well, look, I'm not endorsing every single
because it's all about the authoritarian control with these people. All about maintenance of hierarchy and control. These are conservative principles, Margaret of Face the Nation. This has always been the fucking conservative playbook ever since World War II, if not honestly earlier. If these motherfuckers, if these conservatives can basically do anything possible in order to have as big and strong of a fucking state as possible, under themselves, of course, they'll fucking do it. They don't give a fuck. Like, small government conservatism has always been complete fucking LARP cope bullshit. These motherfuckers love bureaucracy. They love neoliberalism. They love having control on the levers of annals of the economy, of education, and of implementing state ideology to people every single fucking time. This has been conservatism ever since its fucking inception. It is all about one thing and one thing only: maintenance of hierarchy and fucking control. And don't fucking say that you don't endorse everything that Viktor Orban has done. You're literally a part of the fucking president who is trying to do everything within Project 2025, which is the exact, a similar fucking playbook that Viktor Orban also fucking used. So again, cope about it.
Thing that Viktor Orban has ever done. I don't know everything he's ever done. What I do think is on the university principle, the idea that taxpayers should have some influence in how their money is spent at these universities, it's a totally reasonable thing, and I do think that he's made some smart decisions there that we could learn from the United States.
Well, he was just
Oh yeah, dude, like having absolute authoritarian control over the media, universities, which are trying to do right now. To some fucking success, unfortunately, because these universities are all fucking cowards. Except Harvard. Harvard, with the amount of money that it fucking has and prestige that I suppose it also has, although that really doesn't count for fucking squad. Mostly the amount of money that it has been able to fight back and push back against the fucking federal government. So again, cope and fucking seethe. Again, like Daho, you're telling me that an incredibly corrupt, shitty fucking state like Hungary is potentially now facing the consequences of its stupid, fascistic, pudgy dipshit currently in fucking power, who nobody fucking likes, and is having a record low approval rating because he's incredibly fucking scandal ridden and is only done corrupt dealings with for his fucking oligarchic fucking buddies is starting to bite him in the ass. 15 years too late, unfortunately, because this was inevitably the position that was going to happen. But you know, sometimes it's better late than never. And by the way, shit like this is going to keep happening more and more and more. I'm telling you that the fucking largest pride parade within Hungary being all from people all across fucking Europe coming in and participating in that pride parade, even though they are ostensibly fucking banned within Hungary, was a sign of things to come. That the Hungarian people are sick and tired of this authoritarian fucking stooge, Viktor Orban, having his authoritarian fucking shithead rule, and they're going to come out in droves to now start pushing back against literally everything possible. Because I'm going to tell you right now, a lot more people who do not like Orban in comparison to people who like him. So again, I don't think there's really much else to say besides Viktor Orban. I hope you get fucking cooked in your election. Not that I think Peter Magyar is any much better. Who really knows if former Fidesz guy is even really all that much better? Personally, I don't really think so. He's probably going to be like some neoliberal sort of centrist. But in comparison to Viktor Orban, take anything that you can get in terms of like candidates who are going to actively try to get rid of people like Viktor Orban. Don't think there's much else to say besides that.